called NASA to bring different regions of the country together. Last year we saw Gen Z say we do not care about regions or tribes. We are tribeless. Yet the political class appear to have managed in some way to bring us back to talk about regions and tribes within a very short time. Who do you think will succeed?
Fred, I think we should agree as a country that a certain generation, my generation up to maybe the generation just before the Gen Zs, we must agree that we're just conditioned to be tribal. We look at everything from that prism, from that angle, the angle of tribe and region. And so we find ourselves caught or trapped in this tribal mindset. I was listening to the ODM after Raila, and the people who came together, arguing, for example, that you can't come to Nyanza or you can't come. I mean, it's like we're already owning and portioning the country as if they're Shamba system, where ownership of a plot. No, I mean, we have to think beyond that. However, we have a very dangerous trend, political trend that has been in existence, even in the one-party system. We always did tribal arrangements, even when the party was just one. You had to have a powerful person in Coast Province, on the mountain from the Nyanza province. And those are the people who brought the votes. And so you actually did tribal arrangements and tribal arithmetic. So you would praise that President Moi was probably very good at doing that. And then later on during the multi-party politics, you would first start your wing of a political party to come together with my wing of the political party. So we form what we think is national, but it's still really founded on our tribal and regional arrangements. And that's what has come up to now. I just wanted to actually raise this among Kenyans, that even if you don't like an individual, even if you actually have a hatred for an individual, for goodness sake, Raila Amolo Odinga was a nationalist and had private arrangements and also public arrangements with almost everybody in this country. And so anybody trying to restrict movement towards his home to pay homage is a very, very, I don't know to call it uncouth. And I like the way that some of the leaders have come out and say, hey, you can't stop anybody from coming. Now we have got a situation in our hands. You say there's more talk about tribalism now in our political discourse, which is very true. We are going back to what we know. In a crisis situation, people retreat, first of all, to where they belong. And what's happening now is that we are trying to retreat back to our bases. And it's been encouraged in the political system. And you can see, for us to win the next election, 2027, let's strengthen our bases. And it's both sides, by the way, of the coin, the government side and the opposition side. Let's strengthen our bases, and then we unite, as you can see. So today, you have a situation where, and I see this coming, the people of Rift Valley are trying to coalesce together. The people in a certain region want to coalesce together. And then you and I we now make arrangements and agree on signing agreements together so we can form a government. That kind of situation has a lot of disadvantages, okay? But it's the one that will cause the victory in elections. It's the one. So big tribes, big communities are always trying to work together to make sure that big communities or regions work together to make sure that they form government, next one. And then when they get there, then fighting over resources, places, and so on begin to happen, and they split again. This is what's likely to happen now to ODM. ODM is a huge political party, one of the biggest, probably the second biggest, or the biggest even, in terms of the members in parliament, and also in terms of the amount of resources they carry. That's the public resources. And if they do not begin to show a different approach, if they continue to do this approach of regional and tribal thing, if they allow that to happen, you will start seeing it gravitating towards Nyanza more than anything else, and becomes a party in that part of the country. That's why people like Orengo, Ojenda, and others who have started speaking must begin to say that this is ODM, Raila's vision, which is national. We must not allow this to happen. And that's why I kept saying that if it is Oburu, Oburu's leadership should be on the interim basis, but transition quickly to making sure that ODM is a big party. I just want to tell them that if ODM shrinks to a corner, nobody, even the current government will say, hey, what is the value of that party? You know? And then you start saying, how do we deal with a party which has shrunk? So it was to their advantage if they held it, including bringing on board those who are considered critics of the system. Those critics are probably the strongest part of your party. The wing that is led by the more younger, vibrant members of the party is probably the one that will keep you national longer than if you allow those of my generation and others to basically retreat the party to one corner. And I just feel like if this arrangement, which is there now, is for 2027, you think about being tribal now, it's coming up for 2027. And it's going to be like that until after the election. Yeah.
But many within the political class appear to completely ignore the Gen Zs, because the Gen Zs insist that they're tribeless. Yet, it has always been said that they're going to be the biggest deciding factor come 2027. Is it that the political class see it easier and more convenient to draw the Gen Zs into these tribal discussions? Or are they totally dismissed this issue about the Gen Zs?
You know, it is interesting that you've raised the issue